Welcome to The Brain Dump, where we study the psychology of success. Join us as we probe the habits, rituals, and routines of top-performing artists, entrepreneurs, authors, athletes, and more to uncover the timeless principles we can all use to take our lives to the next level. Are you ready to plunge the grunge that's been gunking up your mind's eye? Great, then let's get to it.
Guys, welcome back to the Brain Dump. We got Anthony in the house. Is this part two of what we just discussed in the previous week?
This is kind of a part two episode. So if you haven't listened to last week's episode, stop what you're doing, go back and listen to that one, and then come forward to this episode because these are
and listen. We didn't tell you to kind of listen. We told you to go listen right now. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to get aggressive with them.
Push pause. I know. It's the beginning of the new year for people. So they're all hyped up on motivation. Their ears aren't working very good. So stop listening to us right now. Go listen to last week and then come back. Okay, welcome back. So this week, I want to talk about this concept. And I tweeted about it. This would have been last year at this point, by the time you're listening to this, is the quality of your focus dictates the quality of your results. So the quality of your focus dictates the quality of your results. And so I wanted to talk about this because this is, if it's the beginning of the new year, you probably have a lot of New Year's resolutions, a lot of things that you want to do, and your focus is probably split between a lot of different areas. Or right now, maybe you've created a system that's going to allow you to succeed for roughly 3 weeks. And then the rest of the world is going to start creeping in and vying for your focus, and then your results are going to suffer. And Austin has just lost it. He is just falling out of his chair.
I'm sorry. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Oh my God, I'm crying. Holy shit. You probably put together a system where it's going to last for 3 weeks.
I mean, probably true. I would be willing to bet money that you
it's probably more like 2 weeks, but great call.
Yeah. But you know, the point being that the world is going to start creeping in and start vying for your attention, your focus, and it's going to become fractured. And then those goals that you set for yourself are going to become diluted and watered down because the quality of your focus dictates the quality of your results.
It's a very interesting thing. All right. We were just talking about it before we even started these about, a lot of meetings, a lot of doing. So the other day I couldn't sleep. We had a little stress at the hotel, getting, over some things, been working a lot. And I got up at like 2:00 for some reason. Right. Like I get up early already, but 2 is pushing it. That's like, that's from the previous day. Like normally it's 4:00.
Day's not entirely done at that.
And I thought to myself, I said, you know what? I'm just going to get up. And Cassie was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm going to do some work. I'm going to work out, do my thing, but I'm just going to get started. And then I had a client cancel, the night before, but I didn't see it because I was already in bed. So then it gave me another hour. So I had like 3 hours when I typically only have like my hour and a half. And it wasn't that I did a lot of work. I just did a lot of things I needed to while with the lights off, listening to some, relaxing music. And man, I have had the best week since then. And it wasn't even like I did a lot. I scheduled my coaching calls for December. I followed up on some things that people needed from me. And it wasn't like I pushed the Mount Everest, but damn, it felt good just to do some work when the rest of the world was quiet. And that's the first time I had like clear focus on some projects in a long time.
Feels good, doesn't it? Feels good. Like I talk a lot about the flow state and hyperfocus and how the flow state is such a powerful state for being at your optimal and getting a lot of shit done. And that's great. But the other thing about the flow state is that it is when we are at our highest level of life satisfaction too. Like when you come out of the flow state, you feel euphoric and you feel like God. It feels good to be focused and gain traction and create momentum towards a goal. That feels good. It's when we're spinning our tires and going off in like a million different directions that we just feel like spread thin and stressed and overwhelmed. And it reminds me, Marcus Aurelius has this quote, and I love it, but I'm going to tweak it. His quote is, the measure of a life well lived is to do less better. Do less better. And I'm going to tweak this to be, because this is tying again into our boy Alex Hormozy, who I can't make it through an episode anymore without talking about. So we might as well just marry him already. Yeah. It's not to do less better, because like the better can confuse people. They're like, what's it mean to do less better? But do less more. Yeah. Do less more. You don't need to do so many things. You need to do less things, just more of those less things.
Well, first of all, I messaged him the other day because, I can't help it. And I said, hey, because obviously if you haven't watched this thing, homeboy's back like a savage. 3 a.m. working, he's back. He's out of his winter season, like he said today. And I said, hey, the world's a better place that you are fully engaged and on attack mode. And he was like, thank you very much. Because like we're about to see some greatness come out of him. But what's interesting is everybody asks me the same question all the time. How the hell do you do everything? How do you have a full-time coaching, 16 client coaching business, 2 podcasts, run a hotel, multiple businesses, an Airbnb company? It's because I don't do a lot. Like I'm the CEO and the visionary, but I have people that run the businesses and they're paying me for my judgment. And so you might think I'm working a lot, but that split-second decision is like really all they're asking of me, or that relationship or that one email together. And that's how I can do everything. But also understand that what I've had to learn, this is the hardest thing for me, is there's 2 different me's, right? And I'm having to give myself permission on the weekend to relax so I can show up when it's go time better. And that has been the biggest thing I've learned this year, because when I'm just going 24/7 or like going every day, I can't stay focused because I just want to be outside. I just want to be not here. And so I'm really trying to like, today I had 2-hour break during the day, but I have a very busy day. And I went out and I walked outside for a little bit. And like now I come back and I'm in the saddle for like 5 hours. Like I'm trying to teach myself these little things, or do some pull-ups or do some stretching, like in between, like these little things to kind of like recenter my focus. Cause I can get like pretty squirrely a lot of times with my brain.
Mm-hmm. We talked about this in an episode, like one of the earliest episodes, actually, like last spring when we first launched the podcast, is about recovery and how important that is for, maximizing your effectiveness in life. But how really one of the hardest parts about recovery isn't the fact that we all know we need it. Like we know we need more rest, we need more playtime and more downtime between tasks. Like we know that, but the hardest part is giving yourself permission to take that time away. Because as overachievers, as high performers, as successful people, when you're not doing the thing, or at least like pretending like you're doing the thing, then you feel this guilt and this baggage, this weight that like, oh, my time could be better utilized if I was doing this thing. And so any moment away, like on your hike or surfing or, doing whatever it is, you feel like, oh, I could be using this time better. Mm-hmm. Like when you use that phrase, like I could be using my time better, then it's filled with so much judgment and criticism that you no longer are actually getting what you need out of that recovery time, right? Like you can't be recovering while you're still holding the stress of, I could be doing better. So you got to let that go and say, this is the best use of my time right now. If I don't do this, then I can't do my best work later. I can do more, I can do it better later. But right now, this is what I need to be doing.
And there's a million, oh God, it's a whole industry, on how to focus better, how to do more, how to, productivity hacks and stuff like that. And one of the things that I'm running up against, like the last couple of weeks, is kind of something I'm harping on, is like, what I'm seeing is too much modeling and not enough embodying. Right. And what I mean by that is, well, I'm going to go wholesale properties because that guy was successful doing that and he's making money. So then I'm going to do that. Well, no, but Anthony's buying apartments. And so I really want to do that. I'm going to do that. And what I'm asking my clients is a simple question. What gives you energy? What excites you? Do those things, and I guarantee you it's not a trouble to stay focused.
That's exactly right. When I talk about ADHD all the time, and people falsely believe it means that people with ADHD can't focus. Even people with ADHD. If you actually read the definition scientifically, we actually have a gift called hyperfocus that is 10 times better than your actual focus. It's so damn good. And the problem isn't that we can't focus. It's that we can't always control what we're focused on, But when we are interested in what we're focused on, like when there's interest and intrigue and curiosity and fascination, we go into hyperfocus. It's a powerful, powerful state. But everybody, every human, whether you have ADHD or not, can utilize this, right? Like you don't have to work up the motivation to play video games, right? Like nobody's ever been like, I guess I gotta go play those video games. And then 3 hours later, they're like, I suppose I should play another hour. Like it doesn't happen like that, right? So just cut the shit right now. If you're one of those people who's like, I can't focus, or like I'm always going in a million different directions. I'm like, bullshit. I bet if I gave you Grand Theft Auto right now, you would be in the zone for the next 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Like even if you're not a big video game person or whatever, like I can find a way to keep you fascinated. We just have to find what you're enthralled with, what you're passionate about, right? And that's the key, is like figure out what you're enthralled by, because that's what enthralled means, right? Like thralled is to be mesmerized. Find the thing that enthralls you, that mesmerizes your life, and you won't struggle for focus.
And my question to you is, everybody that's listening, when's the last time that you were mesmerized? Seriously, because my mesmerization, whatever, I can't even say the fucking word, but my thing in life is that I want to provide jobs and do cool shit with cool people. So it's really easy for me to get up for everything that I need to do in my day. And like, I literally couldn't tell you the last day it felt like work. I think it's like 2.5 years ago. Like, I'm not saying that I'm like a 10 at all times, because I do believe that you create a momentum when you get to do the things that you don't want to do. But I don't really ever feel like I know when I used to bartend and wait tables, I used to get home and I used to just stare at the wall for a couple hours because I was so just exhausted mentally and physically. I never feel that way anymore. Like I almost feel, to be honest with you, like on Monday, I do 4 a.m. till 7 o'clock at night, and we have our group coaching at the end of the day. I feel more energized leaving that meeting after 12 Zoom calls than I ever have coming home from work bartending.
I agree. I don't really have anything else to add here. I feel like I've said all the things that need to be said here. I can keep going. I can keep repeating myself. But at the end of the day, like, remember what we started here with was that the quality of your focus dictates the quality of your results. And if you want better results, you have to focus more. And, we've heard it before that time is your most valuable asset. And Austin, you've heard me harp on this, is like, time is not your most valuable asset. Your focus, your attention is, like, where you place that. That's what matters at the end of the day. So let's audit your day. Let's audit your life, because it's only by measuring and actually assessing where our time is going objectively that we can say, this is where my focus is leaking. This is where it's lacking. This is where it could be improved. And so if you don't have a system right now for tracking your day and your time, your activities, that's step one. You need to be able to measure it before we can manage it. You can't measure your focus until you manage your focus. Or I'm sorry, you can't manage your focus until you measure your focus, whatever. So start there. If you don't have a system for tracking your day, start there. Step two, if you do have that system, audit it. Go back and say, where is my time going? Like, where is my focus? And then step three is say, is that where you want your focus to be? Is that the best place for your focus to be? If it's not, how do we create guardrails and systems around us so that we can hand those over to other people? Or so we just drop those tasks entirely so we can focus more on the things that really matter.
I'm going to give you a little feather in your cap, everybody, while we send you away here. Understand that some of the times you're self-sabotaging yourself with your schedule, so you have something to complain about.
Ooh.
I've seen that with about 3 of my clients. What's that?
Why would I do that?
Well, you do that because the toxicity and the excuses are super comfortable. Mm. And you're sitting there and you're purposely going to the coffee shop so you can't focus and saying, well, I tried, I tried to analyze that property. I tried to do that. And so, don't cop out that shit with me, because I'm going to catch you in your self-sabotage, because I lived that life for 20 years. So it's pretty easy to spot. Mm. So, be careful, and I've actually made my clients write down their days, and it's really been eye-opening for them to track their week. Like, they're like, my buddy was like, holy fuck, I'm doing way too many things. And not only that, I'm doing things I shouldn't be doing. And so now we're on a whole different thing. We're getting an assistant and it's changing the game for him.
Yep.
So send this episode out to some friends, share it with somebody that gets some value, and we'll see you next time, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us here at The Brain Dump. Now, before you go, it's important to solidify what you've learned here today by taking action. If all you do is listen, then you're only going to retain a small amount of the information you consumed here today. So take a quick moment to really lock in any key insights, tidbits, or pieces of wisdom that you want to carry with you into the future. You can do this by heading over to iTunes and leaving a review with your top 3 takeaways from this episode. If you've already left a review, first, thank you so much. Second, it's time to start a brain dump journal. It doesn't have to be fancy, just a slip of paper will do where you can record a couple quick thoughts from each episode. Science shows this is one of the best ways to ensure long-term retention of new information. And finally, if you've got a brother, a sister, a coworker, or a best friend that you think would benefit from this episode, do them and us a favor and share with them this episode. Your support, as always, means the world to us.